And to further discuss this 20 peso per kilo rice program, we are joined by Attorney Joycel Panlilio, the DA Assistant Secretary for High Value Crops and Sagip-Saka and Intellectual Property. Magandang umaga po, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and good morning to everybody.
Thank you po. President Marcos has allocated 4.5 billion to fund the program. I understand that's only from his contingency fund. Hindi pa kasama ho yata yung mga galing sa mga LGUs. How will this budget be managed po?
The fund is being lodged now at the Food Terminal Incorporated, and that will be used to fund po our subsidized distribution of the 20 pesos, right? And we're starting it tomorrow if the local government of Cebu would get the exemption from the COMELEC to be available for sale to the public in Cebu. And on May 2, we will start selling at the Kadiwa ng Pangulo centers and other stores within Metro Manila.
Okay, Metro Manila by the next day. Oh, ma'am, okay, I will not go into any more the allegations of quality or lack of quality as alleged by the VP. Let me go na lang per se to the program per se. I understand, of course, the point is to make rice or cheap rice or more reasonably priced rice more accessible to the public. But I suppose the question for a lot of other people would be, how sustainable exactly is this going to be, considering that we're subsidizing the price? I understand, tell me if I'm getting the numbers right. I understand to the tune of 13 pesos per kilo po for the 20 peso rice. How sustainable po is this in the long term?
For now, we have stocks of rice, and this is going to be a pilot implementation of the 20 pesos per kilo rice. So within the next 6 months, we will see how the project or the program will run and how the public will accept or how they will react to this 20 peso rice. The most important thing here is we make it available for our public to have this low-cost rice, but not poor quality, definitely. And of course, we will free up the warehouses for the rice, so we could buy rice from our farmers, especially that it's going to be it's harvest season at this time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. I understand po. The point nga is to make that reasonably priced rice accessible to the public. And that in itself is laudable. But of course, you also have that other question of as far as policy is concerned, can we afford to have this for the medium to long term? Not just for the next 6 months. Kasi nga, in the end, this is also, it is also money going out of public coffers. While yes, it does make it more accessible to the public, pero syempre, it is heavily subsidized.
Yes, of course. In parallel to that, we have to make sure that we increase the productivity of our local production. And there are assistance that we provide to our farmers, especially now that the budget for our Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund has been effective next year. It is going to be 30 billion from 10 billion, and there are a lot of interventions that we will provide to our farmers aside from increasing their capacity to produce more and increase the yield per hectare of the production of palay.
Mm-hmm.
So, to the sustainability, that's what we are doing continuously.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But I also understand that's a long-term thing. I mean, we've been trying to do that for not just for this administration, but as well for previous administrations. Have been trying to make rice more less expensive to produce and more accessible to the public. I'm wondering lang whether we're getting any closer to the target. Kasi po syempre, iba pa po yung yung pag-subsidize para maging 20 pesos yung bigas versus kung talagang bumababa yung presyo ng bigas dahil gumaganda ang pag-produce o yung efficiency ng production. Where are we as far as that is concerned po?
At the moment, I cannot tell you as to when we can achieve Of course, we have to lower our production cost so we could reach that selling price of 20 pesos that we are aiming. We are, as I mentioned a while ago, we are continuously doing our study and research to lower the cost of production and increase the productivity of our farmers so that we could reach that level of price that we are aiming.
Okay, I understand po. Maybe the data is not immediately accessible. Ganito lang po, if I may po, can I ask for comparatives? Kasi I understand, it's 20 pesos, pero 13 pesos more or less yung ating sinasubsidize. So that amounts to around 34 pesos, I think, more or less, yung market cost, if you might call it that, kung hindi subsidized. Is that cheaper than before the program started, or is it the same?
But what do you mean? The same as
Well,
the
ibig sabihin po,
cost?
bumaba po ba yung cost of production?
This is
Uh,
actually the same rice that we have in our warehouses when we introduce the 33 pesos.
Buffer stock.
That's the reason for the food security emergency. So these are same stocks, but of course we have additional stocks meant uh, after the declaration of the food security emergency. But the cost for that, the acquisition cost for the NFA is just almost the same.
So we're replenishing these stocks because these are basically buffer stocks of sorts, for emergencies.
Continuously buying palay from our local farmers.
Ma'am, more or less that's what I mean. Kamusta po yung ating Kamusta po yung ating well, yung production costs ng rice, is it going down, or is it staying the same?
I do not have the exact figure for the production cost at the moment, but we are buying, the NFA is buying palay at 18 to 24 pesos.
18 to 24 pesos. So, if we use the baseline figure na times 2 po for us to get the market price, that becomes 36 pesos po sa palengke kung 18 pesos ang bili natin sa farm gate.
We are selling it po kasi ngayon for our NFA rice at 33 pesos po under the NFA po na program.
Okay. Ma'am, ito pong NFA rice po, how long has this been in stock? Would we know?
Nagsimula po kasi kaming mag-acquire since last year pa po. So, although ang age po nito ay, kung tinatanong po ninyo kung nagde-deteriorate na po ba siya, nagsisimula lang naman po ito is kapag nagsimula na po tayong mag-mill. But ang stocks po natin ay tumatagal po ito sa ating warehouses ng 1 year, and under our FSP po kasi we could sell it naman po kapag nagsimula na po yung aging niya as early as 3 to 6 months, depende po kung palay na po ba ito or bigas na po ito.
So kung siya na-mill na, kumbaga.
Kung na-mill na po siya, pag we'll start like after 3 months ay ibebenta na po natin ito. Pwede na po siyang ibenta.
And ma'am, how much stocks are we selling for this particular program? I mean, until, did I get it right? Mga 6 months?
We will pilot it until December po, yung sa 20 pesos po.
Okay. So mga 6 to 8
yes,
months.
but there's an instruction from the president to check the figures and see if we could continue it until 2028.
Okay. Ma'am, tapos availability-wise, we're selling, of course, May 1 sa Cebu, May 2 in Kadiwa stores in Metro Manila. How extensive is this distribution network going to be? I mean, of course, you only have a few Kadiwa stores, and minsan mahaba yung pila dyan. So, can you give us an idea kung gaano karami itong, o kung gaano karaming tao makakabili itong 20 pesos?
Just to clarify, for the Cebu launch tomorrow, we're still awaiting for the approval of the exemption of this local government if they could sell it tomorrow. But for the Kadiwa ng Pangulo, it is actually to the vulnerable sector, such as the persons with disability, four-piece beneficiary, and the senior citizen. The limit would be 30 kilograms per month. But we have 8 sites initially in Metro Manila, and then we will prioritize all those LGUs that joined us during the food security emergency. So we have in Davao City, Navotas, we have also in Nueva Ecija, in Laguna, as well as in Isabela. But we have several Kadiwa ng Pangulo sites, Kadiwa centers all over the country, and we will make the 20 peso rice available in the coming weeks in these different sites in the country.
Pero only available so far to certain sectors, hindi po to the general public. Maybe
For
po
now,
tayong-
but for the
Yes po.
LGUs, it will be available for everybody, and it's up for the LGU if they want to limit it to the vulnerable sectors in their area.
Okay. Maraming salamat po, Assistant Secretary Joycel Panlilio ng Agriculture Department. Thank you for joining us this morning.
So, and good morning.
And joining us also this morning is SINAG President Rosendo So. Sir, magandang hapon. Magandang umaga, and thank you for joining us in Morning Matters.
Ed, magandang umaga sa lahat.
Well, sir, my question kanina kasi to the DA was, is this sustainable to begin with? Kasi of course, it is going to be subsidized. In other words, maglalabas tayo ng pera, taxpayers' money. Of course, it's good, make it available to more people. Of course, that's very good. But in the end, have we been successful in making rice production more efficient so that bumababa mag-isa ang presyo, or are we just plugging in with more money?
Yeah, magandang programa ng ating government itong ilulunsad sa Cebu, and we hope nationwide. Of course, ang problema dyan, Ed, is yung pera. How much will they pour in? Yun ang isang nakikita natin. So far, ang mga miller is selling around to retailer is around 31 pesos yung bagong giling ngayon. So kung bibili ang government sa mga miller, pwedeng makabili sa mga miller. So open naman ang mga miller to sell their rice, no? So wala tayong problema sa stocks kung may pondo. So yun ang kailangan yung funding, kasi ito is subsidized, around 13 pesos ang subsidy. Yun ang kailangan natin.
Yes, sir. Well, actually, sir, that strikes at the root of my question. It's good to make rice accessible to more people, cheap rice accessible to more people. But is this a sustainable project to begin with? I mean, we do remember the President's promise of 20 pesos per kilo in rice. I suppose this is not exactly the fulfillment of that, because when you say 20 pesos per kilo in rice, I think we want to imagine na gumanda na ang production, kaya naging mura. Hindi lumaki ang subsidy, kaya naging mura.
Ang international price bumaba rin. No? So,
Okay.
ang presyo ngayon ng break-even ng magsasaka is around 15.50 per kilo. Yun ang break-even ng mga magsasaka. Ang cost of production umaabot ng 55,000 to 60,000. Yun ang computation ng DBP. Kami, ang computation namin more or less nandun din. So, ang production kasi natin average nasa 3.4 tons. No? So, kaya we need to have a higher production, average production. Yung nationwide average natin is 4.2. May 3.5, may 5 tons. No? So, ang average is 4.2. So, yung cost of production nasa 15.
Pero sa siguro, ang dapat kong tinanong sa inyo, gumanda ba, relatively speaking? I mean, if you look at the costs of producing rice over the months, or over the past 3 years, gumaganda ba ang efficiency natin ng production ng rice? At kaya bumababa tuloy yung cost. Sabihin natin yung presyo. Yung presyo. Are we successful in making the rice production effort more efficient for both the farmers and for everybody else?
Yeah, maraming factor kasi. Last year, we are hit by El Nino. No?
Opo.
And yung weather talaga, bumagsak ang ani natin. This year is better. Kung compare natin yung first quarter, ibig sabihin January to April, compare last year, mas yung tubig natin sa impounding dam, kasi considered, we have to consider everything. Yung sa dam ba, mas mataas yung tubig this year compare last year. Ang sagot doon is mas may tubig this year kasi naka-imbak yung mga dam, no? Yung San Roque and other dam, mas mataas yung dam. Kaya yung ani natin this year, compare last year, yung first quarter, mas maganda yung ani natin this year. Pero kung compute natin yung break-even, last year kasi, bumagsak ang ani, so bumaba yung yield. No? This year, medyo gumanda yung yield, pero siyempre, bumagsak naman yung presyo, no? Yung buying price. So, yun ang problema. Kasi last year, NFA is buying at 30 pesos. This year, NFA is buying at 18 to 22. So, malayo yung maski mas malit yung ani, pero mataas yung presyo ng pagbili, advantage sa farmers. Diba? So, maraming factor. Pero yung tinatanong mo kung gumanda yung ani ng first quarter, lumaki yung ani ng first quarter. Yun ang pwede natin masagot. Kaya last year, mahirapan mag-subsidize ang government kasi kung 30 pesos yan, 60 pesos na ang bigas na hawak nila. Ngayon, at least kung 18 pesos, 36 pesos ang hawak nila na bigas, di ba? Yun ang computation doon.
Yes, sir. So better this year compared to last year. Pero is that a factor of the weather po, or is it a factor of government policy or government success in implementing policies?
Yeah, yung buhos kasi ng government last year and this year is the same, no? Ibig sabihin, compare 2 years ago, mas maliit yung buhos ng government. So itong last year and this year, kung i-compare mo 2 years ago, mas malaki yung binigay ng government sa ating mga magsasaka. Ang problema lang, yung weather natin, mas critical. No? So, kasi ang importante sa palay, yung tubig. No? So, yun ang malaking problema. So, kung sinasabi mo, intervention ng DA, sa magsasaka, mas malaking budget. Especially for this year, kami ang naghingi doon sa Senado at Kongreso. Ang gusto ng Kongreso is 10 billion lang para sa RTL. Dinipensa natin yan sa Kongreso, kung makita nyo, and dinipensa natin sa Senate. Inadapt nila yung request natin na to increase to 30 bilyones. And we think na dapat talaga masuportahan ng ating mga magsasaka aside from yung subsidy sa retail na ginagawa nila.
Okay. Maraming salamat po for joining us this morning. SINAG President Rosendo So, thank you for your insights.
Thank you.